Hello, and welcome to the My Heart and Mind podcast, where it's all about creating the feel-good mindset so you can make the most of every moment and reap the benefits of getting the most happiness out of life. And now, over to your host, Sallie Crawley.
Hey there, wonderful people. Thank you for joining me again. This time it's episode 2 of the My Heart and Mind podcast. This episode's called Energy Boosts, Fun and Laughter, the Quick Fix. So, as I said, and I say every week, I really do appreciate you taking the time to listen and getting to know me and the content of my podcast. Today, I'm going to talk to you about energy, and energy is important for self-care, about getting passion and a zest for your life. After my heart attack, I found physically I was drained, emotionally I was drained, and mentally I was drained. And I needed to get the energy to get back to my new life because I couldn't go back to the old normal, and I needed the energy for my recovery. So to fuel recovery, both physical and emotional, you need the mental mindset, which is where energy comes into this. If you were anything like me, I would think, well, there's always tomorrow. And actually, having had a heart attack and breast cancer, I know there isn't always tomorrow. There is no more tomorrow. I'll do it today because tomorrow may never come. I'm talking about emotional energy because it has actually been found to influence decision making, thought processes, memories, and our present experiences. Energy is what we need to make us feel like we can achieve things so that we don't procrastinate, which I'm pretty good at doing, so that we can actually make the right life choices for our recovery. It is hard to describe when you think about the emotional energy because that's what I'm talking about today. It's like you want to do something, you have the physical energy to do it, you're not scared, you have the time, but you just can't get yourself to do it. Without emotional energy, I found it difficult to take action. It feels almost impossible to make the life changes necessary for recovery. For me, I think it was very important to have high emotional energy when I was finding my new way of being. It will give you, like it gave me, the ability to understand and deal with, effectively use it, as it's vital for our happiness levels. Even things like your medications and thinking about how you're going to take them, when you're going to take them, and what method you're going to do. I found I was just weary. I needed to find something to make me have that energy to take care of myself. So, you ready to jump into today's show? Okay, so we're talking about energy, self-care, passion, and a zest for life. Again, I looked in the dictionary to find the definitions, and there's 3 of them that I like to just mention. The energy is the ability and the strength to do active physical things, and the feeling that you are full of physical power and life. Energy is determination and enthusiasm about doing things. And energies are your efforts and attention, which you can direct towards a particular aim or goal. So as I said, it's really about emotional energy that I found was quite important through my recovery. So thinking about those definitions, I kind of had a think, and I've applied them to myself and my journey through recovery, and I'm hoping that by sharing them with you, it will make some sense about what I'm trying to explain with the emotional energy. So using the examples that I found as definitions in the dictionary, this time it was the Collins Dictionary, maybe this will make some sense. So the first one is maybe we don't have the ability or the strength, e.g. me not being able to do martial arts without significant risk due to my heart attack and due to my ruptured Achilles. But I wanted the feeling of being at my full power and enjoying life to the maximum to give me the ability to follow through on my hopes and ambitions. As we'll find out later, sometimes things change, but it doesn't mean to say you have to give them up for that forever. For me, it is a belief around having energy, emotional energy, will give you that belief that there is life after and during chronic illness. The other definition in heart attack recovery through emotional well-being is determination and enthusiasm. They're fundamentally key to making the necessary changes to our lifestyles and our mindset, with dietary changes, with exercise changes, with the regime of the pills, and the general taking care of our minds, because that's the bit for me that was the hardest thing to overcome. It can make you all feel rather overwhelmed. Well, it certainly made me feel overwhelmed, and I really didn't know where to go. Having emotional energy is what saw me through. And another way of seeing it is about setting a goal and aiming for it. As Tony Robbins says, energy flows where attention goes. To get what you really want in life, you need to have a clear goal that has purpose and meaning behind it. And energy, emotional energy, is what will help you on your way. There are plenty of benefits of having the emotional energy, and one or two of them are actually the reduction in worrying and guilty thoughts. I worried an awful lot in the early days, and actually going on through the rest of my life, even to today. But during the first 6 months or so, I used to have guilty thoughts. I used to feel guilty that I had created my heart attack, that it was my fault that I had a heart attack, that I had put all my friends and my family through this awful experience. Having emotional energy helps deal with those thoughts, because it's the one-outness that makes your thoughts turn inwards. And yeah, I have to say, hands up, there are some things I did. I was a smoker that actually contributed to my heart attack, so I could have done things differently. Having emotional energy allows you to learn how to say no, and to remember that no can be a full sentence. You don't need to explain yourself. And again, another one is about boundaries, healthy boundaries. Making decisions and choices based on your needs and wants, not the expectations of others. So how does it help? When I first came home from hospital, I was as weak as a kitten. As I looked forward, and sometimes even now do, as I said, I couldn't see how I was going to get my joy of life back. Okay, so maybe not joy, but, happy life, enjoying life, not all of these thoughts that were running around my head. I was so tired, physically, mentally, and it wasn't just the tiredness needing sleep, it was the feeling of fatigue, that it didn't matter what I do, how much sleep I had, I still felt tired. I felt a failure, and that I was a burden to everybody. Then, during my time off work, I read a book. It'd been on my bookshelf for absolutely years. It was called The Luck Factor, written by Dr. Richard Wiseman. I was gripped. I literally couldn't put it down. I sent it to 2 other people, my friends, not fellow hearties, but just people I care about, because it made such an impact on me. It was life-changing. But my story about reading the Luck Factor book is a story for another day. And enough to say that after reading that book, I came to believe I am extremely lucky. This new belief of being lucky raised my energy. I was still physically tired, but my emotional energy was through the roof. I chose life and I chose luck. This created many changes in how I was feeling. Having the emotional energy helps you to choose fulfilling experiences, and it gives you the ability to embrace life to its full potential. And some of the things, as I've said, over the coming weeks and months, I'm going to cover off with you that will hopefully increase your energy mentally, physically and emotionally, but from an emotional point of view. And we're going to chat through some things, and I'll give you some exercises, things that you can try out for yourself. And some of them are around things like this: cause and effect, happy, a handful of happies, internal chatter, how we talk to ourselves, mind your language. Now that's a really interesting one, how you speak to yourself and to others. We'll set up some motivations, and I will teach you the power pose. But that one comes with a little bit of a health warning. If you've had heart surgery, you do need to make sure that you're in a position that you can use a physical activity. It includes self-care and smiling and the power to change. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to go through with you. But for today, I want to cover off an energy boost. Fun, laughter, the quick fix. So for me, fun, laughter is just so uplifting. Laughter has been used for many years in the therapy field because it releases the feel-good chemicals. It's great because it's part of our survival system. You know, last time we talked about the fight and flight and freeze. Again, it comes from the limbic brain, the part that is there to protect us. It's about our survival. It tells us what is good. So we want more of those good feelings, and we actively will look for that. Smiling and laughter is definitely top of my list. A true belly laugh will shake up your insides in a good way. And I have to say, after my heart attack and that, I didn't think I'd ever really have a good laugh again, but I have since, and it really, really works brilliantly. I love to have that face ache laughter. And as it goes, genuine laughter actually helps you to release fear. Laughter is inexpensive and is always available to everyone. It provides you with many benefits: physical, emotional and social well-being. Although with the COVID coronavirus at the moment, we are all a bit in lockdown, so we do have to move to the digital ways of being quite social with our humour. Laughter actually does relieve stress, tension and anxiety. It can relax the whole body, and it helps, as I said, to diminish fear. It creates energy and improves your mood and adds to the joy of life. Oh, did I use that word joy again? I'm really enjoying my life. You can create it, find it, share it, and it's a habit that you can learn too. And the best thing is it's infectious. And I don't mean like the coronavirus. It can boost your immune system and release endorphins to relieve pain. So there's many reasons why a good laugh will help you in your emotional cardiac recovery. You can treat laughter as an exercise. It will keep your funny muscles strong. And actually, there's a lot of medical evidence that it does actually help cancer patients as part of their holistic health treatment. For those that have had heart health problems and concerns, it's said that laughter can help prevent heart disease. It increases blood flow and improves the function of your blood vessels. So it's a win-win. You feel good and it helps your health. Practice laughing with a wide grin and a deep belly chuckle. You'll feel better afterwards. But sometimes we have to find ways to make it happen. I love to enjoy everything I do, but I do have to, like you, respect my limitations and remember a smile is as good as a laugh if that's all you feel up to today. So a word of warning, you do need to take into account that we are currently in the middle of the COVID-19 virus. So not all of my suggestions that I'm going to give you as ways to give yourself a laugh are going to be valid. It's a case of just listen, take notes and decide what you can do right at this time. And as I mentioned earlier, if you've had surgery, remember, laughing actually will cause some pain if it's not managed. So please always do check with your medical practitioner before you embark on a week full of laughter. So let's start. What are the ways that you can introduce laughter into your life? Well, there is this thing called laughter yoga. Personally, I've not tried it, but just thought of it actually does make me laugh. And I'm going to say this wrong, but it's called Hasya Yoga, and it's the practice of prolonged voluntary laughter. It's based on that belief that voluntary, fake laughter provides the same physiological and psychological benefits as spontaneous laughter. Laughter yoga is done in groups with eye contact, jokes and playfulness between participants. So maybe during lockdown, you can't go and find a class to attend in person, but do take a look online because a lot of people are using Zoom and running classes. Talking about using the internet, you can get on the internet and have a look around. There's loads of funny laughs, including YouTube videos, and even more silly, irrelevant, stupid, frivolous, the better. Adults, children and animals are always good. Other people laughing or situations in life. Save your favourites so you can return to them at another time. I have friends that swear by YouTube videos. It's not my thing. I do admit. But if I come across them, or as in they're sent to me or shared with me, there are certain things that just make me laugh out loud. YouTube's not the only platform. There's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest. They also have plenty of group hashtags and boards dedicated to having fun and laughter. So check it out. Now, this next one's one of my favourites. I do love a good Netflix session. Great. But it's not just Netflix now. There is the British box set and there's the Amazon film library too. Just get on. Find a funny film to watch. Ask friends for recommendations. It could be a funny series, not necessarily just a film. Something maybe you've seen before or something you've never tried before. Just give it a go. If you don't like films or series, there's plenty of stand-up comedians online because, again, going to a comedy club's a bit out of the question at the moment. Find out what's available. Another option is to tune into the TV, radio or a podcast like this. Find some funny sitcoms, sketches or films. It can seem like such a small thing and meaningless to do, but you'll find your mood lightens and you feel very much uplifted. And you never know, that smile is just one small step. Then laughter. Check out some podcasts too. There's lots and lots of choice. Smile more is another option. Practice smiling as much as you can and as often as you can. Notice while you're doing things, have you got a smile on your face? And if it's not something that is making you really unhappy, then put that smile on your face. Turn that frown upside down. This allows your body to naturally get ready to laugh. Your body responds unconsciously to the sensation of smiling and assumes laughter will follow. To start laughing more, start the warm-up smiling more. It will trick your body into thinking laughter will follow. And how about this one? Take that look off your face. Have you noticed that many people's resting face is a bit of a scowl? My daughter makes me laugh when she talks about other people having a resting bitch face. I've seen hers. She needs to look in the mirror. Check yours out. Go and take a look in the mirror. Begin to train yourself to develop the habit of smiling as you're working, jogging, cooking dinner, walking, browsing Facebook. Just pay attention to what's that look on your face. Make a point of smiling at everyone you see as you go through your day. People will smile back. Remember, it's infectious. It primes you for laughing and it's good manners too. Another option is laughter therapy. Now, again, during lockdown, it's going to be a bit more difficult, but there are courses and groups, individual sessions that the whole aim is to get people laughing. As I mentioned, laughter is infectious. So I think once you've got over the initial embarrassment of a group session workout, it might work for me too. Now, don't force laughter. I know it contradicts earlier what I was saying about laughter therapy and laughter yoga and that you can fake it till you make it. But what I mean is sometimes we need to be kind to ourselves. Accept where we are. Let the not so good feelings be recognised and welcomed. Then get on with the day. Acceptance is the quickest path to transforming how you feel. Remember, it's not everybody's idea of humour is the same. What might make your friend belly laugh, to you might be mildly amusing, or perhaps just not funny at all. Again, what makes you laugh one day may not be the same on the next day. I think that the state we are in is something that affects where and how we see humour. So, another contradiction. Force yourself to laugh. Yes, a direct one to my last point. But remember what I've said, even a fake laugh or smile works. Make yourself laugh at something. Start off in as big and as fake and as forced laugh and make it as weird as possible. Maybe give it a snort with laughter, make it high-pitched and squeaky, make it musical or even a braying hee-haw sound like a donkey. You'll start laughing for real when you start messing around with how you laugh. Surround yourself with people that make you laugh. And again, lockdown warning, not happening quite at the moment, but I shouldn't imagine it's going to be long. If you're feeling down and you're having trouble learning to laugh, it is unlikely to improve if you're surrounding yourselves with Debbie Downers and Marvin Mooners. Instead of socialising with people who bring you down, Hang out with your friends and family that are always uplifting, happy and make you laugh. Another idea is to spend time with children. When my daughter was a toddler, I used to get great pleasure and laughter from watching and listening to my daughter and her friends. Kids say and do the most hilarious things. They're so inquisitive and fearless, they have no inhibitions to hold them back. Watch them play. Join in with them even. Watch their antics on TV or YouTube. Another option is spending time with your pets, whether it be dogs, cats, spiders or horses. If you or someone you know has a pet, go play. Again, bearing in mind that we have social distancing. Although if it's a spider and a snake, not sure about the plaything. Maybe you just want to go watch it. Walking with my dog Miller and watching her run and play with other dogs always makes me smile. It's so funny when they do something daft. Watching my 3 cats, Demon, Cobweb and Screech, with anything containing catnip in, always has me in gales of laughter. If you haven't got a pet of your own, ask one of your friends, or why not volunteer at an animal charity? There are many local and national charities, and it's not just about dogs and cats, but hedgehogs, birds of prey and donkeys too. And remember to laugh at yourself. Be kind. I'm not saying be mean, of course. Just try not taking yourself quite so seriously, and that goes for everybody else too. Take a breath and step back and see the ridiculous in certain situations. We all do silly and daft, embarrassing things. One way to turn this around into something more positive is to have a laugh about it. I said don't be mean, as laughing at others can be hurtful, but a light-hearted laugh with someone is a great way to perk up yourself and others around you. People watching. This kind of links in with what I was saying about laughing at others. And again, take care not to be hurtful. But when you're out and about watching people, or even news programs and that, you can see people in the backgrounds. Take a few moments to look around when there's traffic jam or a bus, or even just out shopping. I'm pretty certain you'll find something that will put a smile on your face and perhaps cause a giggle and a laugh. It can be particularly amusing as you don't have the context for their behaviour, so it might seem quite out of place. Heed my words though, don't be hurtful. Another way of bringing on the laughs, do something really silly. Perhaps something you loved to do when you were a child. Let out your inner child. Skipping, cartwheels, sky and cloud watching, rolling down hills, making snow angels, making a snowman, jumping in puddles, or throwing peanuts or popcorns into someone's mouth. Try doing that on your own as well. That will always be a mess for me. So why not play a game that you did as a child? Something simple, maybe tiddlywinks, jacks or stones, marbles on a drain cover. But, it's just go have fun. Think like a child. Allow yourself to be uninhibited. You could video yourself rocking out to your favourite music, sing along with your hairbrush as your microphone and then play it back. Promise you don't have to share it with anyone else unless you want to. And when you're feeling really frustrated and cross, go for your life. Have a temper tantrum, a full-on crying, screaming and stamping of feet. It usually ends up with me laughing if I try that one. And finally, I did touch on it earlier, going to a comedy show, but at the moment it's not quite going to be happening. But comedy shows, because you're in the room with the people and everybody is laughing around you and it's live, and having things live makes a whole bunch of difference. If you want a night out, just get on the Google and see what there is. A local comedy show or a comedy club was definitely worth a go. So there you have it. That's all my tips for today about how you can go find laughter. And what I'd like you to do is, for the next week, try out at least one. I think there is something like 16 different ideas and then variations on each of those ideas. And there's 7 days until the next show. So have a go. Choose what you'd like and then try them out. And if you're a bit stuck, then there's a freebie that is going to be available in the show notes. It will be a link, and it's a download of over 100 different ways of finding laughter. It includes films, TV series, books and some music as well. So don't forget, you can download that by looking at the show notes and clicking the link below. They're all the ideas. I've given you your task, but I bet that in your head, in your mind, there's some kind of conversation going on around reasons why perhaps you shouldn't. So I'm going to address a couple here. You might find yourself thinking, well, I had a sense of humour transplant. I never laugh. What? Not even a smile? I used to think I had had a transplant too. But what I have found is that I have a different sense of humour. Once I stopped comparing myself and my sense of humour to what others found hysterical, I found my own vibe. Sometimes it's the same as others and sometimes I just don't get it. And I'm okay with that though. So we all have a sense of humour, but it is all unique because we are all unique. And another thing that might stop you is, I have an awful laugh. It's so embarrassing. Well, says who? Are they responsible for you not laughing and feeling really good? Why give them the power? If you do have one of those laughs, I can assure you that anyone who cares about you truly doesn't mind. I would guess if you follow the tip around laughing at yourself, it will even increase your happiness factor. Okay, so there's a couple of reasons that I have got out of the way why you shouldn't. And I'm going to just do a quick review of everything that the ideas were. So, 1, laughter yoga. 2, get on the internet. Look at all the social media platforms. Look out for the hashtags and boards dedicated to having fun and laughing. Get on the Netflix or Amazon and have a day of watching funniness. Tune into the humour on TV, radio or a podcast. 5, practice smiling as much and as often as you can. 6, take that look off your face, and unless it's a resting smiley face, then you can keep that one. How about 7, laughter therapy? Find your nearest class on Google. 8, don't force laughter. Acceptance is the quickest path to transforming how you feel. 9, a contradiction. Force yourself to laugh. 10, surround yourself with people who make you laugh. 11, spend time with children. 12, spend time with pets and animals. 13, remember not to take yourself so seriously. Remember to laugh at yourself. 14, people watch. I'm pretty certain that you'll find something that will put a smile on your face. 15, let out your inner child. Do something really silly. Relive your childhood, play a game from the past, or just remember how you felt as a child. 16, go to a live comedy show or watch a funny film at the cinema. So that wraps up the show for today. And I just want to say thank you again for joining me. I am really, really pleased to have you along for the ride. So as the beat goes on, one moment at a time until next week, just to remind you that there is a freebie that you can download. You just look at the show notes or the blog on my website and you'll be able to find nearly 100 curated films, TV series and books. What's happening next week? Well, next week I'm going to talk to you about another stage of mindset that I think is important for cardiac emotional recovery. Hope. And hope is about looking forward, giving your life meaning. To create a hope for the future, to look forward and to find ways of focusing on what you want so you can live and love the life you have. Hope is an optimistic state of mind that's based on an expectation of a positive outcome. So as I said, come with me, join me next week where we can have a big chat about hope and how it feels and how you can create it. Thank you once again. And don't forget, please join me at the podcast Facebook community. Just hop onto Facebook and put in the search My Heart and Mind Podcast and you'll find my group. Brilliant. Thank you. Have a great week. Bye.
You've been listening to Sallie Crawley and the My Heart and Mind Podcast, a show for you if you've had a heart attack, cardiac event or other life-changing experience and want to feel good. It's all about mastering your feelings and emotions so you can feel great and live the life you love. To find out more, visit www.salliecrawley.com. myheartandmind.co.uk, and note that that's an AND and not the ampersand character. Go be magnificent.